Good morning, YouTube. I'm Scott with the Bullish Bears, and today we are going to start building a watch list. It's going to be hard not to watch anything else other than that VOSO and LGVN from yesterday, but we are going to try to start building something out, and we're going to do a little something different too with our members. We're going to go over a little bit of the strategy that I use and see if any of that kind of clicks with anybody. You guys are more than welcome to join our community where we give tips, tricks, and higher like to uh, treat ourselves more like a trading community than a just a pump room. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and get started. If you guys hear me talking to somebody, it's not just voices in my head. It is people asking questions in our voice room and in our live chat room. So enjoy. All right, guys, I'm back. Can you hear me okay still? Perfect. All right. So let me share my screen. Let me know if I start sounding like a robot. I've been dealing with computer issues this whole week. Yeah, I'm going to do a clean install of Windows over the weekend and hopefully have everything back up and running by tomorrow or by. I am. Yeah, I've got the clean install on a thumb drive, and right now I'm just moving files over to external hard to, uh, well, but with said, everything is slow. All right, so check this out on LGVN right here. If you didn't catch this base underneath VWAP building, that's kind of a hard spot to justify getting in because, well, for one, the market's not even open yet. But for 7 o'clock, I was watching it for a 7 o'clock pop. We definitely got that, but how do you justify getting in when you've got all of this selling pressure to the left? By selling pressure, I mean the deviation channel. And it pops up, base is right on top of that deviation channel, and then it comes back up again. First flag, second flag. This is a potential entry on the second flag to get the last pop. But a lot of times I will just sit there and wait for it to base on the 15 EMA when we get confirmation. So this is the same thing that we talked about yesterday during the live stream. We've got our CCIs. Everything's lining up just like we talked about yesterday. We got a pop and a pullback to the 9, and then a deeper retracement. But then the CCI came back up, and we based right back on top of the 15, and everything was looking like it was flagging a little bit. The 20 CCI really didn't give us a whole lot of indication that it was going to live there. Oh, hold on one second. All right, I think I got butt dialed by Bullish Bears Dan. All right, so where was I? Oh yeah, I was gonna look at the CCI here. So pretty much, if you take a look backwards, as far back as your charts go on it. I use a 2-minute, 5-day, and you take your CCI high and then you snap it through your levels there. You'll see that we have a trend line here, and a break there, and a break there. You do the same thing with the bottom. You don't always have to capture the peaks on some of these because some of them are failures. So like this is a attempt at breaking it out of a wedge, and then it failed and it came back in, and we confirmed that it didn't want to live outside of this wedge, and then it pops up. Same thing here. We tested outside the wedge, came back in, retest, came back in. So we're looking at potential bounce at that level there on the 20 CCI. And you're just pretty much marking highs and lows, just like you would on a normal price chart, and looking for those breaks of potential support, potential demand. You're looking for deviations in consolidation areas. So you have price basing here, and you really don't get a whole lot of deviation other than the fact that this spike went a little bit lower here. If you guys can see that clearly, it went just a little bit lower, but price is going up. And that is deviation on right off the 15 EMA. So on that dip, you can see that we formed a nice little hammer, and we closed above all the EMAs there on that hammer. So it's very easy to miss something like that. Something that was a little quicker like this on the Woodies. Looking at the Turbo CCI, we're back above the 0 line, and we're back above the 15 EMA, and that hammer consolidation right here, this test and retest, could have been a potential entry based off of this flag on the above the 0 line on the Turbo. So it's like one of those consolidations that I look for all the time on every single time frame. Well, usually on the 2-minute time frame, it sets you up really nice to catch potential big moves, and that's what we caught yesterday on it. And then after that, we went over in chat how I play the remainder of the moves, because we're still kind of looking for that that continuation. It hasn't broken down yet. We're cycling through our higher time frames, still consulting with the other CCIs and this level here, so we can extend that to the right if we wanted to. We've got this level here that we need to break above now. That's acting as that's going to act as our resistance to break new highs. And we have a trend line right here that we could draw out right there and right here. So we're looking for that to bounce off of this level here and then continue. And again, we have a base on the 15 EMA, looking for one more base or at least a flag of some sort. And the goal is to capture this previous high of 1385. If it can pop higher, yeah, you can definitely take some profits off the table because you're buying right in front of triple wicks right here. So you can take some profits off the table at right here, this 1385, and see if we can get that continuation up and towards that other deviation there. And if you wanted to snap some fibs to see if we can get some other price targets, you can do that based on this first initial move. But for the most part, my play on this one right now, where it's at, is play it to this 1385, take your profit off, and wait for it to drop further to trap folks. So I definitely need to risk off when you're playing something that's this high, because the anticipation is that it's going to potentially drop from here, and you could potentially catch it one more time yet. But if it rips, then at least if you scaled out properly, you could still have like a couple shares on just to see what happens with it and let it work for you. And then you could just keep catching the bounces and playing the volatility the entire way. So let's go ahead and just mark that level out there because I spoke it into existence. So let's mark out this level here. Remember, we have supply and demand. We have supply showing us where they're living up here. We have triple wicks. And we have a pop up and a pullback and a nice hammer right here. This shows a lot of strength. So we can mark out this level here. So I cycle through depending on what is forming. So if you look here, I've got, I don't want to delve too big into the strategy on YouTube. So if you don't mind, after the stream, we'll go over that strategy in depth during the market open. Yeah. This is next level members only stuff. All right, so we can definitely switch over to a 2-minute to identify potential bounce spots though. And you can see here the 5-minute. If you want to get really granular, like you guys know I like to do, you have those wicks over here, hammer, or not hammer, but kind of a inverted hammer. And then you have a couple of hammers down here. Then you have a control candle. A lot of people call this an indecision candle. I like to call it a control candle because they're not letting it move up and they're not letting it move down. So it's very controlled, and they're showing you potential areas where you might want to look at getting involved. And we can mark those levels out on a 2-minute chart. I'm in the wrong drawing tool. So right here, we're about to hit the top of this this line. I think we're on the wrong time frame though for that. That's one of the bad things about those lower indicators and drawing on them is you have to remember, like if you're going to draw on it, you can only draw on it in one time frame. You can't draw on it in multiple time frames. So here's that push and the test of those wicks. That was very obvious to take profits right there. And we're going to cycle over to that 15-minute time frame and see where everything lines up. Because remember, I'm still anticipating a drop, a pretty heavy drop. If this level fails, it's going to hurt a lot of folks. So we've got triple wicks in here, and we're starting to have the 15 EMA right in this area as well. So I'm going to switch over to an orange line so I can kind of separate that for everybody. And I'm going to watch price when it slams down into this area, and I'm just going to keep an eye on it and see if I can identify a potential bounce spot, because this has so much volatility in it that when it bounces, it's going to produce probably like 50 cents. So if it comes all the way down here and it comes all the way back up towards VWAP, that would be a pretty decent size scalp back to 12. So looking for like $11.30 to $12. knowing that once it drops, this would technically be the second target after the drop. So first target is just before VWAP, aka a whole dollar. Second target is going to be that 1238. Right now, everybody's salivating because they're watching this right here. But and you could also play this. It has another pop up yet, and then come down, another pop up. You could play that as well for like 30-cent scalps. Look for that 1337, 1340. So I mean, that's a 20-cent, 30-cent scalp. But the chance of it flushing, your risk to reward just isn't there, especially in pre-market. And if you look at the level 2, the level 2 is like it's not too bad. All right, so here's the exit. So if you caught that and you're exiting there, pretty simple 20-cent, 30-cent scalp. And now we're looking for what we talk about all the time is our wedge inside of a wedge formations and watching for that potential breakdown. Looking for this level to hold as resistance from potentially from here on out, and see if we get another bounce here, another retest, another bounce here, another retest, and then a flush. Or if it just flushes here, yeah, still kind of the same. I still have the same sentiment about it. The 5 minutes looking pretty though. Remember, this line's not a catch line. This is a let it fall through line, and then that would be a target to catch it on a bounce. If you guys are familiar with supply and demand, typically what you would do is you would look at this hammer right here, this teal one, and you're looking for that area to act as support because you're looking for institutions that made this stop here and come back up to potentially still be there. You can see that that's true based on this second hammer. Once we came into that zone, it popped back up and we retested the highs one more time. We came back in. Once we hit an area, the second time it gets a little bit weaker. Third time it gets a little bit weaker. Fourth time you're looking for that finishing move, Mortal Kombat, breakthrough, and fall through that level. So you can see here that they've tested it once, they've tested it twice. It went a little bit deeper. You could potentially take that to retest being inside the wedge one more time. Obvious. Every time it does that, you have obvious targets from those wicks that has that obvious selling pressure. So one time, two time, third time goes a little deeper, and you're just selling it right in before you hit those selling wicks. If you think about how pullbacks occur on like a daily time frame or more than that, you know that a lot of times those candles will, the daily charts will have pullbacks to retest the bottom of the mother candle, and then you'll have reactions from those areas. So if you're looking at this like a mother candle, you could anticipate that, and then taking your profits along the way, knowing that technically we are in, I'm putting air quotes in, a consolidation area, but this could also be an exit area. And that's another reason why I'm looking at this more likely to fail than pop right here. but I can't ignore the 5 minute. The 5 minute is just showing, it's so bullish right there. We got the 15, you've got the Woodies, and you have the 0 line. Everything's trying to get rejected here. So that's four different indicators that are showing that this still has potential to rip right here. But it's also in a very big indecision zone because you have a big area to fall through. And yeah, so I'm still anticipating a fall through. It's not worth it for me to hold something up there for $1 flush. Don't really have any hammers forming on a 5 minute either, so that's another thing that has going against it. Can't even close. It can't even close above this wedge anymore. So this is a first test below the wedge from those 3 wicks. And if we can't close inside of there, just tell us that we want to still live inside of here. It's still no bueno. And we're below the 15 EMA on a 2-minute chart. So we'll see how that candle closes. Man, that was nice though. I hate the 5 minute right now. It's taunting me. Everything's lining up perfect. We're tested. We're below. I'm still looking for this lower CCI to be rejection. Try not to talk myself into it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. So much for building a list, huh? Oh, nice. Nice job, PHUN. All right, so this might be an interesting watch for today too. I've been waiting for signs of life. This thing's been doing nothing. So I'm gonna draw my trend line down here on the CCI. And just broke that CCI level there. Let's go to a 2-minute chart. Nice pop, nice rip. These are previous targets that I had that we marked out back when it was running. And let's see what happens. Let's check out our CCI down here. We've got a pop up. Come on. There we go. Pop up. It didn't give us a neutral signal, which is interesting. Usually you get some kind of a neutral signal from it. And you have kind of that deal going on. I'm not interested in that. So I'm going to remove that. Long term down there. got kind of a confirmation here. I'm going to wait on that for the market open and see if it'll bounce off that line in the market open. We'll mark our levels out as good as we can. This thing's going to keep moving, isn't it? Popped up, came down, based, popped up, rejection, hit target, came back, we tested the last target because it forgot about it. And the 15, yeah, this one's probably going to keep moving. Came down, tested 0. Yeah. PHUN. Let's look for some targets. $15 really, I mean, everything's really ugly on this because it just kind of, for the last couple of days, just been popping and dropping. I don't really see anything that I can use. You've got a consolidation area right here, 420s. You could potentially highlight this area right here. That area right here as the first warning spot. You can extend that to the right. That will be the first warning of this consolidation here. You can see that we have an open candle closed down, and you could snap a price tool there. And it actually ended up being right around 450. So half and whole dollar, kind of easy to point out. We'll change that to red, dark red, because bright red is hard on my eyes. And we'll see if we get a follow through on a wedge and a little pop to 450 and then a continuation. I can mark that level out there and there. Both of those line up with 460. So this is kind of like a warning line between this price now and 460. If you can get it to 450 or 440s, definitely take some profit off the table and then let the rest kind of work for you and see if it can break through that 460 level. But it looks like they're using that as a potential supply zone. And remember what I said before about supply and demand. If you listen to my strategy, the more times it hits a level, it doesn't necessarily mean that that's strong. It just says that there's somebody's sitting here, and the more times it hits, the weaker and weaker it's potentially getting because they can only defend a level for so many times. So 4th hit, 5th hit, watch for a potential breakthrough and see if we can get that continuation. I don't remember what it ran with. I'm having a brain fart on that one. It wasn't DBGI, was it? Which stock did PHUN run with? couple weeks ago. GBI? I want to say it's DWAC. Thanks, Ray. DWAC. Let's see what DWAC did. Yeah, LGVN is just testing the bottom of that hammer, so I'm still waiting for it to drop. That's not. Yeah, DWAC is in a nice little bounce too. So they run together. They don't really look similar anymore. I'm going to keep that one on watch, but I want to pull back over to LGVN. Just check my levels out. Yeah, yes, it was. And I'm going to sit down and wait for it down at our box. What's in the box? All right. So I know I've been doing you guys a disservice today by not really building a list out. But this is great to watch this. So we've got our hammers here. All of our everything is sitting down there. Let's see what the 15-minute says. Can move that guy up. Up. And we can put it right along this guy here. There we go. 2 minutes. All my entries and exits are based on a 2-minute time frame using time frames for confirmations. Do, 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 do. Yeah, good. Dip by. I like stocks that are going down. Right? Come on. Finish him. Nobody cares about your little $12 hold. No one cares about that. Just keep going. So this will probably get rejected right here at 1236. Just for a little taste above VWAP to have everyone think that it's going to reverse right here and then get crushed. You could still get a quick little like 30-cent scalp out of that right here. So if that's all you're looking for, great. Got to be quick on those hotkeys. There you go. So I mean, you could definitely like kill this thing the entire way down and just catch those pops. And if there's volatility, there's opportunity. Just depends on what your risk management is, and if you're good at picking out those levels and knowing how the stocks move, which is what we teach all the time in our trade rooms and in our next level library for our yearly members. So, all right, so everybody's going, hey, we just broke back above VWAP, let's buy. $12 held. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, Scott has not built his watch list yet. Down. Test the lower regression channel. If it travels the whole regression, it could see 13s. Let's see if there's any demand down here. I don't see anything recently. This might be a new low for this. Yeah, this is a new low. This looks like a recent IPO from last year, or this beginning of this year. And ooh, there we go. LGVN. Let's go, baby. Good morning. Yep, still waiting for it down at 1140s. And I'm still watching CLIR, by the way. It's not, yeah, it's not dead to me yet. It has a day for redemption. All right, so let's take a look at this bad lad. I have a late in life soul. No, I was born in 85. I was the youngest, so I think I get a lot of my information from. Come on, baby. Keep going. So, I'm just looking for a quick bounce from 40s to 80s, and then see where we go from there. No, I did not. Right on. Yeah, that's why like if I'm thinking it's gonna hit like this 40s area, I want to see it bounce back up and retest the base of all those numbers that you were just talking about. So that's why I've got this potential entry signal right down here, 1160s, and then we'll retest 80. But I was hoping for a little bit deeper because I wanted a better entry. Yeah, but that was the bounce I was looking for, and look at what it hit. It hit that it hit that target line to the tick, and I should have taken that for that bounce because now it's going to flash up to 90. It's going to flash up to 90, and that was the move. No, that was a 40-cent move. Yeah, but that was it. Missed it. That's okay. Can't get them all right. All right, so fun lesson today for YouTube. Hope you guys enjoyed the free material. I don't know how long we're going to leave this up on YouTube. This is just kind of like a teaser. But if you liked what you heard and are interested in learning more, please come join us. And there's a 7-day free trial. If you like the camaraderie of our live trade room and all of our members and ourselves, please feel free to shoot us a message. And you can even give us a call, and we do some private coaching and all that stuff. So really great group in here. And you guys have a great trading day. I'm going to finish the rest of the day in Discord with our community so we can go over more of these strategies and try to capitalize on some of this great momentum we've been having this last couple weeks. So you guys have a wonderful day.